Hello and welcome again to Praxis Group International. My name is Mr. HEARN and I am your TOEFL tutor. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about something that many of my students are struggling with right now, and it's something that is happening especially in the reading section. So if you're having difficulty with the reading section, listen up, because I think that what I'm about to teach you may help you tremendously, as after I've talked to my students having these issues, they were able to pass their test on the very next try. Let's talk about a few things that give us a hard time on the reading section, the TOEFL reading section. One of those things is time management. Many people are struggling with answering the questions in the amount of time that they're given. In fact, many of my students end up not even seeing the last passage, especially if you get those dreaded 4 passages with the experimental section. We don't even get to see the last section, or we might not answer the last 5 or 7 questions, and you have to guess on those last few. Well, time management isn't a matter of not being able to read in English. Maybe your English skills are excellent, but you're still having difficulty with time management in the reading section. So what causes that? Well, there's 2 things basically that cause the difficulty with time management. One of those things is doing too much. You're trying to read and understand what you're reading and use what you've learned to answer questions. The test doesn't work that way. That may be what you've done to get to the high level of education that you have right now, to the level of success that you're at. But that doesn't work on the TOEFL iBT. The other thing is, and the most common issue that prevents us from answering all the questions in time, is emotions. You must be aware of your emotions and manage your emotions. Understand that the TOEFL iBT is not hard. It's just tricky. It's not about English. It's about knowing your structures and rules to pass the test. You see, ETS builds anxiety and confusion into the test. So what happens is, typically, is you may look at a certain question and it's direct to the point. You think, oh, this is an easy question. You look at your paragraph and it's maybe only 4 lines or 3 sentences. You're like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'll be able to answer this one quickly. But then you read the question, easy to understand. You go to the passage. It's like, wait a minute, what are they talking about? And you read it again and you still don't get it. It's like, wait a minute, what's the answer? You look at your choices, nothing makes sense. All of a sudden, your reality doesn't match your belief system. If you look at a question, think, oh, this is easy. You look at your paragraph, oh, this is a short paragraph, it's easy to understand. You think that question is going to be easy to answer. And when it turns out to be confusing, anxiety steps in, because when our reality doesn't match our belief system, we have anxiety. And this anxiety is by design. As soon as you fall into this trap of ETS of thinking that I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I knew English, but now I realize that I'm stuck. And you try to answer this question over and over again, and you finally realize that it's taking too long. You just guess, but you've lost your confidence. And you've lost your ability to think and keep track of what you're doing next. Another thing that happens is that you'll see a very confusing question and a very long paragraph. And your mind says, oh my God, it's going to take me too long to read this. This is too confusing. This is too hard. And you try to read and read and read and then find the right answer, and you can't find the right answer. Well, that is by design. The TOEFL iBT is not a test of English. It is a test of college readiness. It is a test of how well you know the rules and the structures that ETS uses to make the test, and that you're willing to obey those rules. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to deal with on the TOEFL iBT. It's that time management. It's really not time management. It's emotional management. It's knowing how the test affects you and how to overcome those things. It's really what I teach in my course, is exactly how to identify what they're doing to you so that you can take control of yourself and be able to pass this test with a respectable passing score. Another issue is in the listening section. Many people are taking way too many notes. Come on, let's face it, you're smart. right? You don't have to be egotistical to know that you're an intelligent person, that you've really worked hard to get to where you are, and that you know English and you know what you're listening to, and you're a very good student and you can take excellent notes. But when you do that, it's counterproductive according to the rules of the TOEFL iBT. You have to know how to take notes and how to use those notes to eliminate wrong choices in the listening section. So if you're having a little difficulty in the listening section, I show you exactly how to understand the way ETS has created that section, how to take fewer notes, and how to use those notes to answer questions quickly, easily, and accurately. If you haven't seen my listening videos, you need to sign up for my program, right? To sign up for my video online course and see exactly how to answer these questions so you can pass this section with ease, because you know that the speaking and writing sections are coming up. And let me tell you, speaking section, it's got to be the easiest section on the test, but it usually causes the most anxiety because you have to perform. I can't tell you how many of my students that speak English as well or better than I myself do, and we'll sit and talk in class, but then when I put the recorder on for them to speak, they go, I don't know what to say. They freak out because it's anxiety, performance anxiety. If you don't know what to do or how to do it, we freak out. We have anxiety. There's a lot of ums. And by the way, if you're saying and in your responses, you're going to test again. ETS has very specific rules and structures for the speaking section. And if you don't follow those rules, you can't pass. It's called a rubric. The rubric is just a fancy word for rules. Think of the rubric as kind of like the teeth on a key, right? When you put a key in a lock and a key has those teeth on it, and you have to have the exact right teeth to turn and open the lock. Well, if you're missing a tooth on a key, or if you have a bigger tooth than you should have on the key, it's not going to open the lock. And that's how the speaking section works. It's all about the rubric, knowing how to take notes and responding in the way ETS wants you to. And that, again, is what I teach in my course. I teach you exactly how to structure your response. I do not use templates. Never, ever, ever use templates, memorize responses. ETS tells you in the test, do not use memorized responses. In fact, they will penalize you and give you a lower score, even if your English is perfect, but you've used a template or those fancy vocabulary words that are guaranteed to get you a high score. No, they will get you a lower score. I don't teach those things, and I strongly recommend that you don't use those things. If you've been using it and you can't pass, guess why? What I teach you is how to structure your response according to what the graders are listening for. Okay? When you know how to respond, you can easily respond on these on the speaking section. And many of my students say, but Mr. This is too easy. It's like a 9-year-old is speaking. I was like, I know, right? That's what ETS wants. They want you to speak directly in the way that they want you to respond. And if you do, they give you a high score. If you don't, you have to test again. And that leads us to the writing section. And the writing section is very much the same as the speaking. You have very specific structures and rules that you must follow. If you follow those rules, you get a respectable passing score. If you're missing an element, if you're not following the rules, you're going to have to test again. It's as simple as that. So what I do in my course, that's very different than most, is that I teach you all the ways that ETS hijacks your mind, hijacks your emotions, tricks you into having extra self-talk, losing your confidence, wasting too much time. And I teach you exactly the structures and rules that ETS uses to create the test and the methods that they require you to use to answer the questions quickly, easily, and accurately so that you can get a respectable passing score and get on with your life. Isn't that why we're here? So we can pass this stupid test and move on so you can have your career? All right. So I want to let you know that I will be phasing out this YouTube channel, and I will be setting up my Praxis Group International YouTube channel that is going to have the answer to all of your YouTube questions. So in the link below, go to the new YouTube channel and watch the videos, like, share, ring the bell, and make comments below and ask me questions. Ask me questions about things you need to know so that I can make a video about it, so I can help you to raise your TOEFL score and get past this cage that we call TOEFL, right? Many of my students, I say that TOEFL is a door. They said, no, mister, you don't understand. It's a prison. I've been stuck in this 2 years. I have not been able to get through. My board certification is about to expire. I need to pass this stupid test. Well, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. I am here to help you pass the test. I don't teach what other people teach. I teach you exactly what you need to know to pass the TOEFL iBT, and I'm here to answer all of your questions so that you can get a respectable passing score. All right, I look forward to hearing from you. Make sure you go to the link below and click on that new TOEFL channel, Praxis Group International. I'll see you soon.